Logan Bennett, a name synonymous with power and success, strolled through the bustling streets of the city, his mind preoccupied with business deals and profits. The sharp click of his polished shoes on the pavement was drowned out by the city's chaos. Honking cars, hurried footsteps, and the faint sound of a street performer's guitar. But amidst the noise, something unusual caught his attention. On a crowded corner, sitting on the cold, hard pavement, was a woman. Her clothes were tattered, her hair disheveled, and her face, though still beautiful, was worn by life's hardships. Beside her sat two little girls, no older than 4, their wide eyes filled with innocence yet dulled by hunger and exhaustion. One of them clung to her mother's arm, while the other softly cried, rubbing her small, dirty hands against her tear-streaked face. Logan froze in his tracks. His sharp, analytical mind usually dismissed such scenes. But this time, something about the woman struck him. He couldn't shake the feeling of familiarity. Slowly, he took a step closer, his heartbeat quickening as realization dawned upon him. It couldn't be her. Could it? "Olivia?" he called out, his voice filled with both disbelief and curiosity. The woman slowly lifted her head, her tired eyes locking onto his. For a moment, time seemed to stand still. It was her, Olivia Carter, his childhood crush, the girl who once radiated confidence and charm, the girl he had secretly admired but never dared to approach, was now sitting on the street corner begging for help. Her gaze wavered, and she quickly looked away, clutching her daughters protectively. "Logan," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Neither of them spoke for what felt like an eternity. The air between them was heavy with memories and unspoken emotions. Finally, Logan broke the silence, his voice soft but firm. "What happened to you?" Olivia's lips quivered, but she didn't answer. Instead, she tightened her grip on the girls, as if shielding them from judgment or pity. Logan's heart ached. He had built his empire on ruthless decisions and calculated risks. But in this moment, all his wealth and power felt meaningless. Here was the girl who had once seemed untouchable, now broken and vulnerable before him. "I can't just leave you here," he said, his tone resolute. But Olivia shook her head, her pride fighting against her desperation. "We're fine," she murmured, though the hunger and despair in her eyes betrayed her words. Logan didn't buy it. The sight of the crying child, the exhaustion etched into Olivia's face, it was too much to ignore. He took a deep breath, his voice softening. "Please, Olivia, let me help you." Her eyes filled with tears, but she remained silent. She didn't want his pity, yet she couldn't deny that her daughters needed warmth and food. Logan extended his hand, his gaze steady and filled with an unfamiliar vulnerability. "Come with me. You don't have to do this alone." Hesitating for a moment, Olivia looked at her daughters, then at Logan. Her pride wavered, replaced by a mother's love and the need to protect her children. Slowly, she reached out and took his hand, as Logan helped Olivia to her feet and guided her to his waiting car. A mix of emotions churned within him. Shock, guilt, and a burning determination to make things right. Little did they both know, this chance encounter would not only change Olivia's life, but Logan's as well. "Hold on," Logan whispered to himself, his gaze fixed on Olivia and her daughters. "This is just the beginning." Logan's sleek black car pulled up to his grand mansion, and Olivia sat in silence, clutching her daughters tightly. The towering gates opened to reveal a sprawling estate, its beauty overwhelming. As they stepped out, Olivia hesitated, feeling completely out of place in this world of luxury. "You don't have to feel ashamed," Logan said gently. "You and the girls deserve safety and warmth." Inside, the twins were mesmerized by the cozy fireplace and plush furniture. Harper exclaimed, "Mommy, it's so warm," while Hazel shyly clung to Olivia's side. Despite their excitement, Olivia struggled with guilt and pride. "Why are you doing this, Logan?" she asked, her voice trembling. Logan leaned forward, his tone firm yet kind. "No one deserves to be out on the streets, especially not you. Let me help." The girls' laughter echoed through the room as they explored, their joy slowly easing Olivia's hesitation. Over dinner, Logan reassured her, "This isn't just about you. It's about them. They deserve a safe place to grow up." That night, as Olivia tucked her daughters into warm, comfortable beds, a rare spark of hope ignited in her heart. For the first time in years, she felt safe. Downstairs, Logan stared into the fire, knowing this was just the beginning of something life-changing for all of them. Late one evening, Logan sat across from Olivia in the mansion's elegant living room, the fire casting a soft glow. The twins were fast asleep, their laughter from earlier now replaced by silence. Logan broke the stillness. "Olivia, I need to know, what happened to you?" Olivia hesitated, her hands gripping her mug tightly. She finally spoke, her voice trembling. "After high school, I fell for Jake Miller. You remember him, right? Popular, charming, but manipulative. When I told him I was pregnant with the twins, he disappeared. Just like that. No support, no goodbye. I was left with nothing." Her voice cracked as she continued, detailing the years of struggle, evictions, hunger, and the desperation that brought her to the streets. Logan's jaw tightened, anger boiling inside him at Jake's cowardice. How could he do that? How could he leave you and the girls like that? Olivia shrugged, tears glistening in her eyes. "I don't know, but I couldn't dwell on it. Harper and Hazel became my reason to keep going." Logan leaned forward, his voice softer now. "You're stronger than I ever imagined. To go through all of that and still keep fighting? Olivia, you're incredible." Her eyes widened, taken aback by his words. "I don't feel strong, Logan. I feel broken." "Broken?" Logan shook his head firmly. "You've raised two beautiful girls, kept them safe, and survived when most people would have given up. That's strength, Olivia. Real strength." In that moment, something shifted. Olivia felt a warmth she hadn't known in years, while Logan saw a depth in her he hadn't appreciated before. Their shared vulnerability forged a bond, a flicker of trust and understanding sparking between them. As the fire crackled, Olivia whispered, "Thank you, Logan, for everything." "You don't have to thank me," he replied. "You're not alone anymore." The walls Olivia had built around her heart began to crack, just a little. And for Logan, the idea of protecting her and the twins became more than just an obligation. It became a purpose. In the warm glow of the mansion's breakfast room, Logan looked across the table at Olivia and the twins. Harper and Hazel were giggling, their plates piled high with pancakes. A sight Logan hadn't realized he needed until now. His once empty home was now alive with laughter and warmth, and for the first time in years, it felt like a place of joy. "Olivia," Logan said gently, drawing her attention, "you've spent so long surviving. It's time to start living." She frowned, unsure of what he meant. "Logan, I don't know where to even start." He leaned forward, his expression serious yet kind. "Let me help you rebuild. You're smart, resilient. I can cover the cost for you to take some courses, find work that fulfills you. This isn't charity. It's an investment in your future." Olivia hesitated, her pride battling against her desire to give her daughters a better life. "I don't know if I can," she admitted softly. Logan smiled. "You can. You've already proven you can do anything for Harper and Hazel. This is just another step." As the days passed, Olivia found herself warming to the idea. Logan set up a small workspace for her in the mansion's study, encouraging her to explore her interests and take online courses. At first, she felt overwhelmed, but Harper and Hazel's excitement fueled her determination. "Mommy, look!" Harper exclaimed one afternoon, holding up a drawing she had made of their family. It included Logan, standing tall beside her and Hazel. Olivia's heart clenched. The girls were thriving in ways she hadn't seen in years. They played freely in the garden, their laughter echoing through the halls, and they adored Logan. Harper called him Mr. Logan. While Hazel often reached for his hand when they walked together, Logan, in turn, embraced his role in their lives. He spent evenings teaching the girls simple lessons, playing games with them, and tucking them into bed with bedtime stories. Olivia watched from the doorway one evening as Logan carefully placed a blanket over Hazel, who had fallen asleep mid-story. Her chest tightened with emotion. "You're incredible with them," she whispered as he stepped into the hallway. "They're incredible kids," Logan replied, his eyes soft. "And they have an incredible mother." Olivia felt a warmth she hadn't known in years. Slowly, she began to trust Logan, not just as the man helping her rebuild her life, but as someone who genuinely cared about her and her daughters. Each day brought them closer together, their connection growing deeper with every shared moment. Olivia couldn't help but feel that for the first time in a long time, she wasn't just surviving. She was starting to truly live. One rainy afternoon, Olivia sat in the living room, her fingers gripping the phone tightly. She had made the decision to confront Jake, the man who had abandoned her when she needed him the most. Logan stood nearby, his supportive presence comforting her. "You don't have to do this alone," Logan said gently. "No," Olivia replied, her voice steady. "This is something I have to face on my own." She dialed the number, her heart racing as it rang. When Jake answered, his voice was cold and detached. "Olivia, what do you want?" "I want closure, Jake," she said firmly. "For me and for the girls. They deserve to know where they stand with you." Jake sighed, uninterested. "I've moved on, Olivia. I don't want anything to do with them or this situation." His words were like a slap, but Olivia had expected them. "They're your daughters, Jake. You don't even care to meet them?" "Look," he said bluntly, "I'm not cut out for this. You've done fine without me. Just keep doing that." Tears stung her eyes, but Olivia refused to let them fall. "Fine," she said, her voice trembling but resolute. "This is the last time you'll hear from me. But know this, your daughters will grow up with someone who loves them unconditionally, even if that person isn't you." She hung up, her hands shaking. The weight of years of disappointment and unanswered questions pressed on her chest. When she returned to Logan's mansion, he was waiting by the door, concern etched on his face. She told him everything, her voice cracking as she recounted Jake's indifference. "I'm so sorry, Olivia," Logan said, pulling her into a gentle embrace. "You and the girls deserve so much better." As she leaned into him, Olivia felt a surprising sense of relief. She realized this confrontation wasn't just an end. It was a beginning. She was finally free from the lingering hope that Jake might change. That evening, as Logan read bedtime stories to Harper and Hazel, Olivia watched them from the doorway. She saw in Logan the love and care her daughters deserved, the kind of love Jake could never give. For the first time, she allowed herself to fully embrace the support and love Logan had offered from the beginning. The past was finally behind her, and she was ready to build a future filled with trust, hope, and unconditional love. Olivia's life was changing rapidly, fueled by Logan's unwavering support. Days that once felt like endless struggles were now filled with purpose. With Logan's encouragement, she immersed herself in her studies, rediscovering her confidence and ambition. Her afternoons were spent working at Logan's company, where her resilience and quick thinking began to impress everyone she met. "She's a natural," one of the executives told Logan after Olivia suggested a new approach to a project. Logan smiled, pride radiating from him. "I've always believed in her." Despite her growing success, Olivia struggled with something deeper. Each day brought her closer to Logan, but the thought of opening her heart completely frightened her. The quiet moments they shared, like late-night conversations in the study or walks through the garden with the twins, were filled with an unspoken connection. One evening, as they sat together on the mansion's terrace, the city lights twinkling in the distance, Logan finally broke the silence. "Olivia," he began, his voice steady yet vulnerable. "There's something I've been wanting to say." She looked at him, her heart beginning to race. "What is it?" Logan took a deep breath. "Since the day I saw you on that street corner, you've turned my life upside down in the best way. You've shown me strength, resilience, and love in ways I didn't know were possible. I care about you, more than I've cared about anyone in a very long time." Olivia's breath caught. She had felt it too, but hearing it spoken out loud was overwhelming. "Logan, I—" She hesitated, unsure of how to respond. He gently took her hand, his gaze filled with understanding. "You don't have to say anything. I know you've been through so much, and I don't want to rush you. I just needed you to know how I feel. I'll wait for as long as it takes." Tears welled up in her eyes, but she managed a soft smile. "Thank you, Logan, for everything. I need time to be sure I'm ready." "I understand," he said, his voice warm and patient. "When you're ready, I'll be here." That night, as Olivia lay in bed, she reflected on how much her life had transformed. Logan's confession lingered in her mind, not as a pressure, but as a promise, a reminder that she didn't have to face life alone anymore. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to hope, not just for her daughters, but for her own happiness too. After months of laughter, shared dreams, and overcoming challenges together, Logan decided it was time to take the next step. He wanted to create a moment that Olivia would never forget, a gesture that symbolized the life they had built and the future he dreamed of. One sunny afternoon, he asked Harper and Hazel for help. The twins, bubbling with excitement, were sworn to secrecy. Together, they helped Logan set up a beautiful picnic in the garden, complete with fairy lights, flowers, and a cozy blanket under the shade of a grand oak tree. When Olivia stepped outside, she was taken aback by the enchanting sight. "What's all this?" she asked, her voice a mix of surprise and curiosity. "It's for you," Logan said, stepping forward with a warm smile. "For us." Harper and Hazel ran to Olivia, tugging at her hands. "Mommy, sit here. We have something special to show you." As they all settled on the blanket, Logan took Olivia's hand, his gaze filled with emotion. "Olivia," he began, his voice steady but heartfelt. "Meeting you again changed my life. You and the girls have filled my home with love, laughter, and hope in ways I never imagined. I can't picture my future without you." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box, opening it to reveal a stunning ring. Harper and Hazel squealed with delight as Logan continued. "Olivia, will you marry me? Will you let me be a part of your life and theirs forever?" Tears filled Olivia's eyes as she looked at Logan, then at her daughters, whose faces were lit with pure joy. "Yes, Logan," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "Yes, I will." The twins cheered, throwing their arms around Olivia and Logan. "We're a real family now," Hazel exclaimed, her small arms clinging tightly to Logan's neck. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Olivia felt an overwhelming sense of peace. For the first time, her future felt secure and filled with love. Logan slipped the ring onto her finger, sealing their promise to each other. They were no longer just individuals brought together by circumstance. They were a family, united by love, ready to face whatever the future might hold. On a sunny morning, surrounded by close friends and family, Olivia and Logan stood hand in hand, ready to exchange vows that would seal their journey from despair to joy. The ceremony was simple yet heartfelt. held in the mansion's garden, which had become a symbol of their growth and love. Harper and Hazel, dressed as flower girls, scattered petals along the aisle, their giggles filling the air with happiness. Logan's voice was steady as he spoke his vows, promising to love, protect, and cherish Olivia and her daughters. Olivia's voice trembled with emotion as she pledged her gratitude and love for the man who had shown her the beauty of second chances. When they were pronounced husband and wife, Harper and Hazel ran into their arms, making the moment a perfect blend of love and unity. Shortly after the wedding, life offered yet another miracle. Olivia discovered she was pregnant, and the news brought unparalleled joy to the family. Harper and Hazel were ecstatic, already planning how they'd help care for their baby sibling. Logan's happiness was evident as he held Olivia close, whispering that their family felt more complete than ever. As the months passed, the family settled into their new rhythm. Harper and Hazel continued to thrive. Logan balanced work with family, and Olivia embraced her studies and the joys of impending motherhood. Together, they built a life filled with love, trust, and resilience. Their story became a testament to the power of second chances and the beauty of finding hope in the most unexpected places. The mansion, once a symbol of isolation, was now a haven of warmth, laughter, and endless possibilities. For Logan, Olivia, Harper, Hazel, and their soon-to-arrive addition, the future was brighter than they could have ever imagined. Their happily ever after had truly begun. Olivia and Logan's heartfelt wedding marked the start of a beautiful new chapter, soon blessed with the joy of a baby on the way. If you loved this story, like the video and subscribe for more inspiring tales.